Well, back to that breaking news. Anderson police and law enforcement across the Carolinas remembering Sergeant Ethan Kaskin this afternoon. He was on duty and returning home after working out. He was off duty, I should say, when troopers say a driver crossed the center line and hit him there on those double bridges in Anderson County.
Fox Carolina's CARRIE WEIMER joining us live now from the police department in Anderson. And CARRIE, how is everybody doing today?
Well, as you can imagine, it is a terribly sad and difficult day here at the police department. For 12 years, Sergeant Kaskin worked right here behind me, but of course this morning ended that watch for an officer whose brothers and sisters in the blue say he leaves a huge hole in this community.
It's scary because you have nowhere to go on the bridge, but then again, I was there to help, so I had to do my part and get over there and help them.
David Ackerman was headed to work this morning when he witnessed a crash on the double bridges on Highway 24 in Anderson.
I got out of the vehicle and I observed a lady screaming, so I instantly called for help because I did not have anything to break glass at that time on me.
Troopers say a Dodge SUV crossed the center line around 6 a.m. and struck a Ford SUV head-on. The driver of that Ford was Sergeant Ethan Kaskin.
They were tending to him, trying to see if he was all right, checking his pulse. I brought some rags over to try to cover his head because his head was bleeding. And at that time we just noticed his pulse got shorter and shorter, and we believe he finally passed away.
The coroner confirmed Kaskin, an investigator for the police department, was entrapped and died on the scene. The 22-year-old driver of the Dodge SUV was also injured and transported by EMS to AnMed Health.
It's with deep sadness today that the police department has lost one of their own in an unfortunate vehicle accident this morning.
Sergeant Kaskin joined the Anderson City Police Department in 2008 and was most recently a detective working on the Violence Against Women grant. The police chief said what happened this morning was one of those unforeseen accidents that happen in life.
It's a loss for our community. This officer loved this community, and he would do anything for this community. He loved this job in law enforcement. We ask that the community pray for us, support our officers.
Now, at this time, we do not know the condition of the female driver. As for Sergeant Kaskin, he leaves behind a wife of 6 years, as well as children and grandchildren. Cody?
CARRIE, so tough here, especially after losing one up in Henderson County. Law enforcement coming together to remember